Germany, the home of legendary car brands like BMW, Audi, and Mercedes-Benz, now finds itself at a crossroads. Could this automotive powerhouse actually be facing the end of an era? Is Germany's car industry dying? Germany's automotive industry has long been a symbol of engineering excellence, contributing nearly 5% of the country's GDP and employing over 800,000 people. It's not just a national treasure, but also a key driver of the global economy. The country has been the leader in European car production, especially in electric vehicles, EVs, with 1.27 million electric and hybrid vehicles produced in 2023 alone. However, the shift to electric mobility, global supply chain issues, intense competition from China, and stricter environmental regulations are shaking the foundations of this once invincible industry. Some experts argue that Germany is lagging behind in the race for EV leadership, especially with China's aggressive expansion into the market. Why is Germany struggling to maintain its dominance in the car industry? What does this mean for its economy? And most importantly, can it recover? Is there a path forward, or is the decline inevitable? The dominance of the German car industry. Germany's car industry is a powerhouse with a long and rich history, deeply intertwined with the nation's post-World War II recovery. In the decades following the war, Germany rebuilt not just its economy, but also its reputation as a world leader in engineering and automotive innovation. Brands like Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Audi quickly became synonymous with precision, quality, and luxury. This reputation wasn't just by chance. It was a result of meticulous engineering, high standards, and a workforce dedicated to creating the best machines on the road. By 2022, Germany remained one of the top automotive manufacturers in the world, producing 3.1 million vehicles. Despite global supply chain disruptions and the gradual shift toward electric vehicles, this production figure not only reflects Germany's historical dominance, but also highlights its continued global relevance. The country's ability to adapt to market changes while maintaining its reputation for high-end automotive engineering has kept it competitive. Global influence and economic impact. The importance of the car industry to the German economy cannot be overstated. It contributes over 5% to the national GDP, making it a cornerstone of Germany's economic engine. The industry also provides jobs to approximately 800,000 people directly, from factory workers to engineers and executives. These jobs aren't just numbers, they represent livelihoods, families, and entire communities that have been built around the car manufacturing plants in cities like Stuttgart and Munich. But it's not just the economic impact within Germany that is significant. German cars are exported around the world, with brands like Volkswagen and Porsche being household names from New York to Tokyo. In fact, 76% of the electric vehicles produced in Germany in 2023 were sold abroad, showcasing the country's strong export-driven economy. However, as we'll see in the next section, this dominance is now being challenged in ways that Germany could not have foreseen. The decline of the German car industry. Germany's car industry has long been celebrated for its high-quality combustion engine vehicles, but the global shift to electric vehicles, EVs, has dramatically disrupted this traditional dominance. While companies like Tesla and Chinese automakers quickly embraced the EV revolution, German manufacturers were initially slow to adapt. This delayed response has cost them dearly. Tesla's innovative approach to EV production, combined with the rapid rise of Chinese brands like BYD, has put immense pressure on German automakers, who are now struggling to catch up. The global market is shifting fast, and the European Union's mandate to ban new petrol and diesel car sales by 2035 only adds urgency to this transition. One major indicator of this struggle is the closure of Volkswagen factories. In 2023, Volkswagen, one of Germany's automotive giants, announced the closure of several factories that primarily produced combustion engine vehicles. The closures were driven by plummeting demand for traditional cars and the rising dominance of electric models. As consumers increasingly opt for environmentally friendly EVs, Volkswagen and other traditional manufacturers are facing the hard reality of adapting or risking obsolescence. The closures don't just signal the end of a chapter for VW, but they highlight the broader struggles of Germany's entire automotive sector. Supply chain issues and energy crisis. Compounding these challenges is the energy crisis that emerged in 2022. Germany, heavily reliant on imported energy, faced soaring production costs as energy prices surged. This has made it even more difficult for German automakers to remain competitive, particularly in industries like car manufacturing, which require immense amounts of energy. On top of this, a global semiconductor shortage has delayed production and deliveries, further straining the automotive sector. Without these critical components, car makers can't produce the advanced systems that are essential in modern EVs. But it's not just internal factors. External competition is also reshaping the landscape. Chinese automakers in particular have rapidly become formidable competitors. Offering high-quality electric vehicles at significantly lower costs, China has managed to capture a larger share of global markets. In 2022, China even overtook Germany as the world's second-largest car exporter. The US is also gaining ground, with Tesla leading the charge in innovation and production efficiency. For German car makers, the competition is fierce, and the race to remain relevant in the EV market has never been more critical. Consequences for the German economy. The decline of Germany's car industry poses serious risks to the country's economy. As a sector that contributes over 5% of the nation's GDP, a downturn in automotive production could result in significant economic repercussions. In terms of jobs, the car industry employs around 800,000 people directly, and if the industry continues to lose ground to global competition and shifts in consumer demand, thousands of jobs could be at risk. This could lead to widespread unemployment, particularly in regions heavily reliant on car manufacturing, such as Lower Saxony and Baden-Württemberg. Germany's automotive exports have been a major contributor to its trade surplus, which helps maintain the country's economic stability. In 2023, car exports were valued at over €273.6 billion, making them a cornerstone of Germany's export economy. A decline in this sector could shrink the trade surplus, weaken the euro, and potentially slow down GDP growth. For an economy that thrives on exports, particularly in high-value goods like cars, losing market share to countries like China and the US could have long-term consequences. Impact on supply chains and other sectors. The ripple effect of a weakened automotive industry would be felt far beyond car manufacturers. The supply chains that feed into car production are vast, encompassing sectors like steel, chemicals, and electronics. Germany is a major producer of automotive-grade steel, and if the demand for German cars declines, so too will the demand for steel, potentially harming the country's industrial base. Similarly, the chemical industry, which supplies essential materials like plastics and coatings, could also see reduced demand. In the electronics sector, components like semiconductors and sensors are integral to modern vehicles, and a downturn in car production could disrupt Germany's leading role in high-tech manufacturing. The automotive industry is deeply intertwined with these other sectors, and a decline would cause a cascading effect across Germany's industrial landscape. This interconnectedness means that any significant drop in car production would likely slow growth across the board, further straining the German economy at a time when it is already grappling with energy challenges and global competition. Can the German car industry bounce back? Despite the challenges, there's still hope that Germany's car industry can bounce back. The German government has made it clear that it's committed to the future of green mobility. By 2026, the government plans to invest €6 billion in automotive R&D, with a focus on developing cleaner, greener technologies like electric vehicles, EVs, and hydrogen-powered cars. This includes expanding the country's EV infrastructure, such as building a comprehensive network of charging stations to support the growing number of electric cars on the road. These investments are crucial in ensuring that Germany remains a global leader in automotive innovation. Traditional automakers like Volkswagen, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz are also accelerating their shift to EV production. Volkswagen, for example, has set an ambitious goal to become fully electric by 2035, and it's investing heavily in new EV models and battery technologies. BMW is similarly expanding its lineup of electric cars, with a plan to have 50% of its global sales be electric by 2030. These companies recognize the importance of staying ahead of the curve, and they are now playing catch-up with the likes of Tesla and Chinese automakers. The future of autonomous vehicles. But it's not just about EVs. The future of the car industry may also lie in autonomous vehicles. Germany is positioning itself to be a leader in autonomous driving technology, with automakers working on advanced driver assistance systems, ADAS, and fully autonomous vehicles. Mercedes-Benz has been testing Level 3 autonomous driving capabilities, which allow cars to drive themselves under certain conditions, and BMW is developing similar technologies to integrate into their luxury models. These advancements could provide a competitive edge for German automakers in the global market, where the demand for safer, smarter cars is rapidly growing. While the road ahead is challenging, Germany's car industry has the resources, talent, and support to potentially regain its competitive edge. With a combination of government backing, innovative technologies, and a clear focus on the future of mobility, there's a real possibility that Germany will emerge stronger from this period of disruption. What if the German car industry were to collapse? The collapse of Germany's car industry would send shockwaves not only through its economy, but across Europe and the globe. As one of the largest contributors to Germany's GDP and employment, the automotive sector supports over 800,000 jobs directly and many more indirectly in related industries like steel, chemicals, and electronics. A collapse would mean significant job losses, potentially pushing entire regions into economic downturns. Cities like Stuttgart and Wolfsburg, built around car production, could see unemployment rates spike, leading to increased pressure on the social welfare system. This would also shrink Germany's GDP, potentially reducing it by as much as 5%, severely weakening Europe's largest economy. The domino effect wouldn't stop at Germany's borders. Many European countries supply parts and materials to Germany's automakers, meaning a collapse would ripple through supply chains across the continent. In countries like Slovakia and the Czech Republic, which heavily rely on car part manufacturing for export to Germany, entire industries could face severe disruptions. On a global scale, other car-producing nations, such as China and the US, could step in to fill the void. China, already the world's largest car exporter, would likely ramp up production to capture markets previously dominated by German brands. The US, with companies like Tesla, could also benefit from increased demand for electric vehicles as the market reshuffles. Environmental impact. Surprisingly, the collapse of the traditional car industry could have an unexpected environmental benefit. A swift downfall might accelerate the global shift toward greener technologies. With Germany's combustion engine factories closed, the focus could shift entirely to electric and hydrogen-powered vehicles, leading to faster adoption of clean energy technologies. Traditional manufacturing plants, which are major carbon emitters, could be replaced with more sustainable production facilities. This would align with Europe's ambitious environmental goals, potentially putting the region at the forefront of the green mobility revolution. While the economic impact would be devastating, the silver lining might be a more rapid transition to a greener future. Conclusion: the German car industry is undoubtedly facing unprecedented challenges, from the global shift toward electric vehicles to competition from China and the US, as well as domestic issues like energy crises and supply chain disruptions. However, as we've discussed, the industry is not standing still. With government investments in green technologies and initiatives from automakers like Volkswagen and BMW, there's potential for transformation, particularly in electric and autonomous vehicles. While the risks are significant, so there are the opportunities for a greener, more innovative future. What do you think? Can Germany's car industry bounce back? Thanks for watching, mate. Bye.